Previously on
Dueling Wave. The power of my Millennium Slav hat gives me total control over your mind. You cannot resist me. I will fight your control with the power of based synthwave. That feeble magic is mere decades old, while the power of my Millennium Slav hat has no bounds. I will resist. You'll never make me make decks like Dinomorphia based again. Dinomorphia is cringe. How dare you! I will now destroy your mind. No more. No. Welcome back, baby, to Based versus cRInGe Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks Part 3. This time we have 26 new decks to rank in the cRInGe versus base category. You guys had great suggestions yet again, and so I've devised another list because we let the people have what they want. Before we start, I want to say thank you guys for supporting me by liking, commenting, and subbing. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. Let's get to it. As we get into this, there's one small tweak from previous lists. We've changed the scoring system. After deep, calculated, and careful analysis, we've realized that decks can be cringe without being waifus or furries. What? But they can be. So instead of the waifu tax being a positive for your score, it can only be a negative now. Now it's a whole new ranking system and a max score of 30. We now rank on N-board genericness, as always, like before, or awfulness to play against, 1 to 10 scale. Number 2, reliance on FTKs, floodgates, hand loops, and other degenerate, right? Reliance on degen, if you want to be nice and concise. And art/lore. Those are the 3 categories on a 10-point scale, max score of 30. Waifu bait, furry bait, whatever bait, you know when you see it, it's disgusting, can only decrease your score. It's 1 to 10. If you don't have any waifus, you get a 0, meaning congrats. If you have massive, disgusting, dragon-made level crap in your archetype, you get a 10, which means 10-point deduction. Let's get into this. As you can now see, the new based scoring system, 30 a maximum score, so close 22 to 25, getting a beer with your coworker, milquetoast 16 to 21, cRInGe 8 to 15, and dudes with hentai mats is now 0 to 7. And you'll see it all makes sense. Actually makes more sense than before. We're all about improvement here. Like I said, the train keeps going. The train upgrades itself mid-ride. Up first, a fan favorite of swordsoul. N-board is fairly in theme. Chi Shao, trap card. Sometimes they rely on Barone, but you know, that's not too bad. It's not Apo, Barone, all that other crap. So we'll give it an 8. Reliance on degenerate crap, not that I know of. Perfect 10. Art/lore. This is pretty self-explanatory. Just look at this. Look at this archetype. This is crazy. And it's part of Albaz lore. 10 out of 10. What more do we need? And then waifu tax, other than Ecclesia, not much, so just a clean -2 here for the waifu tax. And we start with a bang. Swordsoul landing in the base category with a 26 out of 30, perfectly squeaking in to the new based category ranking. This is how you start a tier list, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you make based list, like baby. Let's go! Let's go! Now, as we go further, actually put Swordsoul up here. Now, as we go further, we see the dichotomy of man. For every based, there has to be the opposite of based. Exosister, N-board, generic, annoying. What does it do? From my understanding, it's a pretty like archetype locked, type locked, XYZ locked deck, relying on rank 4s and rank 8s, relying also on banishing. Shifter's a key card used in there, but it's not part of the N-board. Really, it just can rely on rank 4s and rank 8s, meaning Dweller, Baguska. Certain cards are a little bit annoying. We'll give that a 7. Reliance on degen. Shifter is one of the most bullcrap cards in the game. Can't go higher than 4 here. Art/lore. Pretty cool. Even if I don't think women have ever been exorcists in any capacity. Maybe some shaman pagans back in the past, but I don't think women are exorcists in the modern world. But no offense to Japanese culture, but they do seem to have a weird obsession with women in leather and just kind of women scantily clad in general. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not against, but at a point, it stops being tasteful. 6. Waifu tax. this deck is literally entirely waifus. 10, meaning a total score of 7. And our first deck with dudes with hentai mats. Can you believe it? Can you start with a bigger bang than this? We have a based. We have a dudes with hentai mats. How do we top this? The line between cringe and based is sometimes a vast chasm, as we see here. Next is D. End board. I know it relies mostly on its own stuff, thanks to Gilgamesh here, but it does have just entirely reliance on negates, floodgates, and all this sort of stuff. I know they're in theme, but still, they're not. They're just, unfortunately, a lame way to play. I'll give it a 6. Reliance on degen. The end board is filthy, and contract with patent license or whatever is just disgusting, so I'll give that a 4. Art/lore. They're supposedly supposed to be heroes of legend. I don't really see that. From what I heard, they're businessmen in the OCG. That's why they have contracts. Contract with patent license. Contract with this. Contract with that. Which makes more sense, because if they're heroes, why would a hero sign a contract, right? Leonidas doesn't sign contracts. He just kills Persians. So if they're supposed to be heroes, I would give this artwork a 5, right? Because it's crap. Maybe even lower. But if they're supposed to be businessmen, I don't think you can really make businessmen look cooler than this. So I would have to go maybe 6 or 7 overall for what they are. But we forgot about one X factor here. Any deck with Nikola Tesla in it, even if it isn't Nikola Tesla, it's just like some robot looking thing that says Nikola Tesla on it. You still have Nikola Tesla. That's a minimum +4 on the final score. So we're giving this a 9. And waifu tax. There's no waifus, so 0. And total of 19. So they fit snugly right here in the milquetoast category. I feel like last time there's going to be a lot of milquetoast decks, as we see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Generaider. End board. Honestly, I have to go with a 7. It's mostly their stuff. For it to be really good, you need runic. So I got to bump it down a little bit. But it is mostly their own stuff. Reliance on degen. They do rely on a hand loop, unfortunately. Which is just, of course they do. So we'll give it another 7. Art and lore. I'll give this a 9. I would have given it a 10 had it just been their actual names and the artwork's been a little bit better. Like, that one card is just basically a castle, which is kind of lame. So it gets dinged a little bit here, but we'll give it a 9. And waifu tax, I think they have Hell, Mardell, and I think that's it. Maybe another one. I think, no, they have that other one, the newer one that came out. I'll give that a -2. They seem to be pretty tasteful, and so yeah. And then here we go, another milquetoast 21-point deck. I'll actually put it here above DDDs. Next we have Cl. As our boy Actman said, which I don't agree with often, but as he said,
don't you want to play a deck with cards that all start with Cl? I summon Clifford disc, which allows me to get one Cl card from my Cl deck.
End board. They rely mostly on their own stuff, but they also rely on floodgates. So I'm going to do a 7. Reliance on degen. I mean, it's floodgates. You just can't. You can't. It's got to be a 5. It's got to be a 5. I mean, any deck that can run Card of Demise other than a True Draco, is crazy with floodgates. Artwork. It's cool, but also kind of dumb. Very samey. Like, robot house thing with legs. So another 5. And waifu tax. There is no waifus, so we'll give that a 0. Total of 17, and we sneak into milquetoast right below DDD. Next we have Skull Servants, baby! End board. OTK going second deck. I hope they don't have anything degenerate. You can't know every deck in the game, guys, you know what I mean? I just know my personal experience with Skull Servants. It's pretty like, make 10,000 dude punch you in the mouth, right? I don't even believe they can go first, so we'll give it a 9. Reliance on degen. None that I know of. 10. Artwork has that issue of everything being samey, but it's a skeleton. How diverse can you make skeletons, right? So I'll give it a 9. And waifu tax, yes, they have women skeletons, as they rightfully should, but it's tasteful. There's no weirdness going on, so 0 there for waifu. And we have, with a 28, a new high-scoring base deck. Skull Servants, let's go! All bow down to the White Prince. Frog, Paleo, end board. it's a mix of 2 archetypes, right? They fit so well together. Level 2 water type. Frogs got absolutely decimated. And so it's basically Paleo carrying the torch here. I don't even know if the deck is even somewhat viable. But overall, it makes its own stuff. It doesn't really go into too much degenerate stuff. I don't think they even run floodgates. So I'll give it a 7. You know, it's risky because it's a trap deck. We'll give it a 7. If it's a Sprite version, it's a 4. Maybe even worse. I hate the Sprite version. So it's a 7. Degen. I don't think it's pretty degenerate. It's a pretty cool trap deck. Tasteful. I'll give it another 7. Unfortunate that thanks to garbage sprites, this deck got hit unintentionally. Zoo, Paleo, Infernoid format. Stand up, baby. Art and lore. Pretty cool overall. Ancient fossils, frogs. They look cute. They look like real animals. They're not like some weird bastardized thing to sell product. So overall a 9. And waifu, furry tax, none at all, 0. And we have a total of 23, which for Paleo Frogs, who would have thought that? I mean, I certainly wouldn't have thought that. And we gave it an almost based. Wow. I mean, if you run Paleo Frogs, pretty based, dude. Now we have Vaylantz or Vaylantz or Violence. I'm going to go with Violence. Pure Violence. End board, I'll be honest. I have no idea what the hell this deck does. I looked up some combo videos so that I can understand the mind of a Vaylantz player, the combos, what they try to do, what they try to design, what they try to output, and it seems like generic bullcrap combo deck. This deck is low-key like a mythical Pokemon. Most people have never seen it in real life, like S-Force. But through my intense knowledge, in my intense research, I found that they make generic bullcrap boards with Apo and whatnot. So that's a 4, unfortunately. Degen Reliance. That's another 4. I mean, if you have a generic dumb board with a bunch of negates, I'm sorry, and floodgates. Art and lore, pretty cool looking. Cool enough to tempt you to want to try the deck to see if it's any good so that you can play it in real life and possibly pick it up because it's so cheap. I like this one. I like the artwork. I'm going to give it an 8. And waifu tax, Violence players, what is this? -3. Total score of 13, which is sad. It is our first cringe deck. F in the chat for all the Violence players. The reason I ranked it so low is that, guys, let's just play the deck in a sweet, cool way. If you want to play stupid combo, play Manadium. Fluffals, end board. This deck is sweet. No degeneracy. I know someone in the comments will probably say, no, wait, bro, hold on. There's a Fluffal mouse combo that gets you Barone, Apo, Fossil Dyna, Exodia. I'm giving this a 9 or a 10, probably a 9. It would be a 10 if I didn't fear that there was the possibility of that. Degeneracy, from my understanding, none. 10. Art and lore. Fluffal mouse is probably one of the coolest cards ever created. I mean, look at this dude. He's got a donut, and he's got wings. That is the coolest, cutest. This is literally unbelievable. Whoever made this artwork should just get a bonus. It's an 8. This art really grows on you over time. I would have ranked it less if I just saw it for the first time, but as you see it more, it's so cool. And waifu, furry, they're all furry, but they're not gross, pushed. They're not purely. Fluffal mouse is sweet. 10. Total score of 28. Tied for first place with the King of the Skull Servants. I'm going to put him right here first because I like the Fluffals. Come on. There we go. Let's go. Take your place, King. www.adagnister.com. End board. Looks like it runs its own stuff, but it does do standard link spam stuff. Yuck. 7. Degen Reliance. Spam. Anna Towers. 6. Art/lore. To tell you the truth, I have no idea what the hell they are. One looks like an apple, another one looks like a lemon, and then another one, the boss monster, looks like Decode Talker went to the gym. Must be way too highbrow for me to understand. 5. Waifu, none that I see. 0. Total score of 18. Here he is. Another milquetoast deck for us. Thank you for being sacrificed on the milquetoast altar. Go get a beer with your coworker. Toons, end board. All their own stuff. Pretty cool. Anime deck. 10. Degen. They play Protect the Castle and attack life points directly, which is kind of a funny, weird gimmick. It doesn't really stop you from playing. You just kind of is like, it's not even interacting with you. Just kind of like wants to kill you by attacking you, like jumping over your stuff. But I'm pretty sure that playstyle was power creeped in 2007. So 10. Art and lore. Literally phenomenal. So much variety. So cool. Honestly, I don't do this often. 11. Waifu. There's a few, but unintentionally. No one looks at Toon Dark Magician Girl or Toon Harpy Lady or this or that and goes, oh man, those are waifus. No, they like Harpy Lady. They like Dark Magician Girl. And it's just by unfortunate, unintentional coincidence that, you know, because this card was converted to a cartoon version of itself, that it's kind of getting the waifu treatment. I'm just going to give this a -1. And with the first perfect score of 30, Toons, Maximilian Pegasus. Yugi boy. 6 spams. End board. Loops for days. Loop, loop, loop-de-loop. Giga Omega Loop. Deck that would deck you out 6 times over if Max C was legal. Plus plenty of generic stuff. 5. Degen strats. Loop. I am your father. I thought Dark World had annoying loops and constant just comboing until I saw 6 Sams. 5. Art and lore. Perfection. Absolute perfection. 10. And waifu tax. Pretty tasteful. Hardly any of them are like, you know, -1. And so we got 19 for Milk Toast. Right around DDDs. Poker Nights. Glad to see other fans of this deck. End board, they're light warriors and they're like locked into it. So they can't really, I don't think they can really make much. Unless someone can prove me in the comments wrong. I stand corrected about Dinomorphia, but I was under the control of an evil fiend. 9. Reliance on Degeneracy. 10. Art and lore. I love their artwork. I think it's phenomenal. I think really cool design. Arcana Knight Joker is the antithesis of Dispatter. One of the coolest designed looking cards ever. And he even just says like, don't touch me, no targeting, go away. 9. And then waifu tax. There's Queen's Knight, but I think she's tasteful. -2. And so, 26 with a base score tying Sword Soul, Arcana Knight Joker Poker Knight deck. Yumi, whatever you'd like to pronounce it like. The other water deck. End board. All its own stuff, pretty cool. Not generic at all, from my understanding. Really oppressive though, so I'll give it an 8. Degen strats. Just like I said, has oppressive, floodgate, also like a negate, goes in on legs, searchable torrential is crazy. 7. Art and lore, truly amazing, hard to make fish look cool, perfection. 10. And waifu tax, none, so 0. Total, 25. The top of almost based. Traptrix, a multiple time requested deck by you, the commenters. Lord have mercy. End board, not generic. Pretty interactive, pretty cool play style. Overall, you cannot complain about this. That is a straight 10. Degen strats, literally a trap deck with no floodgates. It only floods. The only floods it can run are like rank 4s, like Dweller and Baguska. So overall, base aside from those two, 8. Now the train falls off the tracks. Artwork. Next question. 2. Waifus. Bro, this is Konami wildin'. Pure wildin'. -9. I'm sorry, guys. It's a cringe deck. Great playstyle. It is the ultimate dichotomy of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where great playstyle, healthy playstyle, amazing deck with just why artwork. Drytron. End board. Usually generic rituals that lock you out of playing the game or skip your turn and negate your extra deck. 4. Degen strats. See previous. But I'll give it a 5 here. Because compared to other degenerate stuff, it's not as bad. Artwork. Really cool. The main deck monsters are kind of samey, but it gets hard carried by the cool looking ritual spell, the cool looking ritual boss monster they make every 10 games. Really cool. 9. And then waifu, if you count Ben 10, right, -2, so 16. And at the bottom of Milk Toast, I want to apologize to my boy OG, the guy you've seen in a couple other videos. You guys requested a lot of the decks that he plays, and I've just been decimating at this point. Dinos. End board. At this point, they can make, I think, pretty much anything. But Lagia and Dolka are inherent to them. They are dinos. Like, I think they're dragons, but they are made by dinosaur monsters. So, 7. Degen traits. They used to run the hand loop variant, but I don't think they run it much more anymore, so I'll give that a 8. Artwork, pretty cool. Who doesn't like dinos? Gigantic ones that are like electric and summoning lightning. My kids love them, so 10. Waifu, none, 25. Almost based. I think it's tied with Yumi deck. Now we get to some nice. Ninja. What's up, my ninja? End board. Hanzo with a set art of duplication. Broken. 10. Degen strats. Not only is this not degen, it is the antithesis of degen. It uses flipping, but they're not even flip monsters. Artwork. 10. So far it's 10. Waifu. Where was I? -1. And a total score of 29 super giga based. Right here. I think they're second. Endymion. End board. Not generic, but negate. 7. Degen traits. Negate, negate, negate. 7. Artwork. Just perfection. So clean. 10. And waifu tax. 0. There's no waifus in this archetype. There's a few ladies, but they're pretty tasteful, you gotta admit. So we got 24 almost based. Endymion's blow up effect, destroying 6 cards, is a 30-30 super based in our hearts. BLS. End board. Lol, there ain't no end board. 10. Degen traits. C end board. 10. It's BLS. Go read the cards. Artwork. 15. I will give it a 10. We'll be fair. I know you guys hate when I go over the limit. The only thing remotely dingable about this archetype is Super Soldier's pigtails. Waifu tax, none. 30 for 30. Giga Chad. Giga based BLS. Let's go. Cubic. End board. I mean, they can negate through a trap card, I think. Overall, they're just trying to kill you with the cubic dude. 10. Degen strats, weirdly it's like a self-burn, so it can make like ties, but it's not really degenerate, I don't think. Like it's meant to be a going second deck. It's cool in that respect. It does like kind of cheat out OTKs, but that was more so in the past, where now everything feels like a cheap OTK. So cubics are kind of now a tasteful OTK, where they were cheap OTK in the past. 8. Art, weird eye shit. 6. And waifu, there's no waifu. 24. Almost based. Pretty cool. Nothing more needs to be said. Subterror. End board. Here's some floodgates. Here's Dragoon. Here's DPE. What deck am I playing? Psh, you couldn't guess in a million years. Just realize how many base decks we had in this one. Wow. And only one dudes with hentai mats? What are we doing, guys? What are these suggestions? Let's get more of this. We need more in this category. This is like a happy movie. Anyway, Subterror. End board 6. Degen strats. 6. We know what they do. It's floodgate with a hand trap negate. Artwork. Freaking cool as hell. Almost like Shadow of the Colossus combined with Journey to the Center of the World. 10. Waifu, -1. Total of 21. Milquetoast, sadly. If it changed up its playstyle, it would be really cool. Like, it would be like base for sure. Krawler. End board. I'll just say this. Konami really has to stop supporting flip decks with synergizing them with floodgates. 5. Degen strats. Winda plus Big Krawler is AIDS. I saw the end board. Wasn't too familiar with your game. I now am. Yuck. 4. Artwork. Pretty cool metal bugs, I'll say that. So an 8. And waifu 0, unless you're a weirdo. So we got a 17. Milquetoast. Get a beer with your coworker, if a bug could do that. Next is Tistina. End board. Love the going second strats. This field feels like flooded with them. You know, BLS, Cubic, Tistina. Deck has no going first options that I know of, except maybe Book of Eclipse set. 9. Degen strats, none. So 10. Artwork. Interesting. I know it's hard to make aquas look cool, but this is pretty cool. Like, it's weird, but it's cool. So I'll give him some props. 8. Waifu. There's none, unless you count Crystal God as a waifu. So 0. And LOL. Base Tistina. Am I right? 27. Somehow Tistina is more based than Poker Nights? What world are we living in right now? We got 2 decks left. Time Thieves. End board. Guys, if I'm judging pure Time Thieves, this is a 30 out of 30 base deck. The deck is so cool. But we know that Time Thieves don't play by themselves. They play a rank 4 spam with Raid Raptors. That was the last competitive version of this deck. And so I have to judge that version. Like I said, the normal version is a 30 out of 30. But the version that's the most successful, end board is a 6, because it makes just dumb negates and interruptions. Degen strats, negates, and Kali Yuga. Ew. So a 3. Artwork. Literal perfection 10. I love the pure version of this deck. Waifu, some but tasteful, -1. So finally, 18, Milquetoast again. Sadly, Time Thieves. You could do so much better. It's like Vaylantz. They could both be so much higher if they just weren't running generic bullcrap. That's just disgusting. And finally, Galaxy Eyes. I should put this in hentai mats just to make you guys seethe. Just kidding. We needed more. Definitely more cringe decks in this list, but we didn't get them. Anyway, Galaxy Eyes. I should leave them here just to scare you guys. End board, pretty reasonable, 9. Degen strats, none, so 10. Artwork, big cool dragons. It doesn't have the problem of other anime archetypes where it's like, here's a dragon, here's another dragon that looks the same, here's his cousin, here's his uncle, here's his dad. No, it's like, here's this cool knight, here's this other warrior, here's this wizard. It's like it's pretty interesting. It's like a actual protagonist deck as opposed to just legacy support that's just tacked on the same artwork. 9. And finally, waifu, none, with a score of 28. Galaxy Eyes is definitely based. A great way to end this installment of based and cringe decks. Now, for all of this work that I put into this video, I just asked for a like and a sub for my efforts. I think I've deserved it. You made it this far. Come on, think about it. If you don't sub, you'll miss me hating on your other decks in future installments. Think about that. You don't want that to happen. FOMO is real. See ya!